Welcome, welcome. Q and A's, the best part of life are the Q and the A. Maybe not the Q's, but the A's. Nobody likes the Q's, but the A's are always really good. And every time we do A's, people will always say, you know, I knew that. Like, how come I didn't think of that? And it's only because you've been taught to think this way, and now we're going to think this way. All right, so let's start. We've got some really good, I think these questions, you guys, I just really appreciate them because you guys are just good. Okay, so I want you to look at, we've got photos. I got plenty of photos. So the question starts with, maybe the sleeve is too big, what's wrong with the sleeve, yada, yada. So let's look at these pictures. And I'm assuming, she never actually said it, but she said, she never said what she didn't like about it. I'm assuming what she doesn't like about it is the twist. There's a twist to that sleeve. So I've got a couple photos, and we're going to just go look at the first one. She's taken a side angle, which you can really see what's wrong. And what I want you to look at, you guys, let's go back to that first photo, sorry for just a minute. Look at this where the problems are starting. And the reason I'm starting to give you the logic, or hoping to give you the logic, is so that you can logic your way through this stuff, because it's not complex. You notice that that twist starts to happen at her elbow. It's the elbow. If that were a short sleeve, it would not twist because it's the elbow. So what's happening is the sleeve and the arm are going two different directions. The arm is more bent than the sleeve. So let's go to the next picture. You can see it again. Yep, there it is. It's happening at the elbow above. If you notice, let's go to the last picture, and I'm telling you how to fix it here. So this is anytime you have a two-piece sleeve. A one-piece sleeve will always twist. I had this question yesterday. Why does my sleeve twist? Because it's a one-piece sleeve. A one-piece sleeve will twist 100% of the time when it's in lightweight blouses. We don't care. It's not a big deal. It's silk. It's, whatever. But when you do a two-piece sleeve, typically it's because it's heavier fabric. And now we don't like the twist anymore, and we want to control that twist. So you're going to put a dart. And what you're going to do is you're bending the sleeve forward to match the bend of the arm. So those two little darts, you can see A and A should both match. They taper to nothing at the other seam. That will solve it. Okay? All right, let's go to the next question. In photos, this is photos from my muslin for a leather jacket. I have used 1913 GA's jacket. I have difficulty inserting the bias piece onto the collar. Okay, so let's pull up picture number 4. Thank you, sir. And actually, we're going to pull up picture number 5. This is a bias little insert. Now, Giorgio Armani is famous for this bias little insert. Rather than doing an under collar and an upper collar, he did a bias insert, and this, I've preserved that. If I've done an Armani jacket or blouse or whatever, I've preserved that insert. So here's the picture. Here's the picture of it, and what I want you to do is, we're not ever doing names, and the reason we're not doing names is because here's the deal. This collar is upside down. The collar itself, the floral part, is upside down. That's why you had a hard piece. That's why you had a hard time inserting the bias, because you're on the wrong side. So go back to that collar piece, look at it, differentiate the neck edge from the outside edge, and this collar is flipped upside down. And when it's flipped the right way, you won't have a hard time. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is Hugo's cardigan. You guys know this is like my favorite pattern. It's 915 Hugo's cardigan. And she says it's hanging, and when it's hanging, you can see that bottom is kind of forming a V, or it's kind of hanging out. So I've done this alteration on many, and all you're going to do, this is why you make a muslin, is you're going to take a dart. Now, typically, the reason it happens is because the bust is changing angles under the bust. So it's going out, and the fabric is not, it doesn't have an ability to come back on the body. So we take a dart at center front. Now, in some cases, I did that dart just to the edge of the collar piece. Sometimes it has to go all the way back to the side seam, but it will taper to nothing. So you just take a dart, taper it nothing to the side seam, and you'll see what will happen is those fronts will hang straight down. If you have the garment on, you say, okay, where do I take the dart? If you notice in that photo, it's typically right below the bust. So that's where it starts to go askew. Again, it's a depth issue. It's because the garment doesn't have as much depth as the pattern. So I take it away, and it is good to go. Okay? Okay, very easy. This one does not have a photo. I'm making 425 Craig's blouse. Whenever I do this, guys, I know I should put a photo up there. I just don't. I'm making 425 Craig's blouse. I typically lower the bust darts 1.5 inches on pattern 600, which I always tell you is the base. The pattern has no bust darts in 425. Do I need to make the same adjustment? The answer is yes. However, keep in mind that when those gathers are done, you could just gather them up, put the blouse on before you put the front facing on, and just see where you like them. You can adjust gathers after the fabric has been cut. You don't have to do that beforehand. So I would recommend before you make any changes just to leave them as they are and go from there. Okay? This is a sewing machine question. I would appreciate if you'd let me know what kind of sewing machine would be good for basic sewing. I'm way out of touch on that subject. I was too until a little while ago. So let me just tell you, I'm going to kind of wrap up what I've learned. Under $500 for a sewing machine is probably too little. It causes multiple problems. You can go for a $500 machine, try to get it on a sale. Baby Lock has a good one. I think Bernina has a good little one, again, around $500. I don't know about Viking. I'm sure they do, right about that same price point, but I would not go less than $500 for a basic sewing machine, unless you go to, I was sewing at, this was a private consultation that I did this last week, and this lady had the featherweight, the 221 featherweight, and I'm going to tell you that thing was amazing. How accurate it sewed, how quick it sewed, how easy it sewed. I mean, it doesn't have any of the buttons and the gizmos, but she said she sews on it all the time. I asked her about it. I mean, we have those on the Fit to Stitch website. They're a donation. I think they're $700 and something. Anyway, that's an exception. Those are good little machines. So just for whatever it's worth. Okay, next question. I hope that helps. Basic sewing machines, keep in mind whenever you go to those computer sewing machines, they will only last for a period of time because those computers will die, they have to be replaced, and they continue on. All right, the next picture is number 7, I think we're on, is that right? Okay, so she said there's 2 questions in here. Number 1 is Hugo's cardigan, which is the one we were talking about before, pattern number 915. She said her neck is shorter, and so she doesn't want the collar to be quite as wide. The collar, however, is cut on a fold. So if you can look at this picture, that's the way you want to do it. You just want to, the red line is where you're going to put it on the fold now, and you can narrow that collar as much as you want without narrowing where it comes through the waist, through the body. So very simple to do, very easy to do. The next picture is she's making up pattern number 322. And when she's making up 322, the arm is too tight for her. The armhole itself is too high. She wants to lower the armhole. She wants to know what to do with the sleeve. So she sent me this photo of what she thought she should do. This is way too hard. Like, let's keep it simple. Let's go to the next photo. And the reason I want you to see this is because in raglans, just like in regular patterns, and she even said, look, on a regular set-in sleeve, she knows to get the larger sleeve and the larger armhole. She knows to pair them together. She knows how to do all that. But somehow on a raglan, she's not thinking that same way. So you do the same thing. Let's say if you're doing a size 5 body, you go to the 6 armhole and the 6 sleeve, and you pair those together. So I did kind of a screenshot of the way they grade, and you can see as they grade, they automatically grade lower and larger. So that would be the easiest way to do it. You don't have to slice and slash or any of those other things that she was proposing. So hopefully that'll keep it simple for you, and it'll make it effective and easier than going to all that work. Okay, this does not have a photo. The question is, she purchased a fabric, and she wants to do, it's number 900. It's called Carol's Jacket. It's a little denim little jacket. And what do I call that? It's a jean jacket. That's what I'm trying to find out. That's not a hard word. I just couldn't come to me. It's a little jean jacket. So she wanted to line it. And she wanted to know what I thought about lining, and I think it's fine. The only reason we didn't is I wanted to keep it simple. So I'm going to give you a little formula for lining. It is the pattern minus the facings plus seam allowance. So if you take all those pattern pieces and you take away the facings, because your lining equals the pattern minus the facings plus the seam allowance equals the lining. So you take away the band, you take away It depends on if you want to line the sleeves. It would be the sleeves, but again, minus the seam allowance for the facings, or plus the seam allowance, I mean. So the pattern minus the facings plus the seam allowance equals the linings. And you can go through and decide you want to line anything you want. I would line it. Remember that I had a little jean jacket. It was that red leather. And, I wore it with a white t-shirt, and I had pink armpits from the dye of the leather wearing off. If I had lined that, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. So depending on what you're doing it, or just for personality, you decide you want to line it, I would do that. All right, so this next question, this was a question that I had missed. I said I thought I had missed one, and she wrote me and said, yes, it was my question you had missed. So this is about the bomber jacket. And, when we go to change up fabrics, why do I decide to make a size smaller? And when I'm doing a jacket, even if I'm going to do it in a lightweight silk, I don't change the sizing, because the silk is just pretty and loose, and I don't go to a smaller sizing. I still want that circumference, and there's no negative ease. So regardless, when I'm doing a jacket, even if I'm changing out fabrics, I would not change out sizes. Only when I'm doing like t-shirts and blouses and pants and things of that nature, but not when I'm doing like a bomber jacket. So her original question was, she bought the sweater knit that I used to make the bomber jacket. Since it's a knit, would you go down in size on a jacket? And no, the answer is no, I would not. I hope that helps. Okay? Okay. And then this last one is a question where she has seen something. She's been shopping. She's gone to Nordstrom's, Naughty Girl, or Neiman's. Those are places we have to be very careful to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I missed a question. Okay, sorry. I've got two on this one page is my problem. Sorry about that. I'm drafting pattern changes to 4200, the Princess Sheath dress. I know I need to lower my shoulder and armhole since I do not want a shoulder pad, and she knows how to do that. If I can find a matching lace, I'd like to use a short one-piece lace sleeve. I can pull that sleeve from a blouse pattern to use for this dress. Perfect. The question is, which armhole template would I use to make this adjustment? Okay, so it's not based on the style of the garment. It's based on the fabric. So if the lace that you're using is a stretch lace, I would use my knit. If the lace you're using is a woven knit, I would use my blouse. And I can use a one-piece sleeve or a two-piece sleeve. So depending on the armhole I'm using, the sleeve, it's based on the fabric, not based on my styling. Hope that clarifies. That's a very important clarification. Okay, now the last one. So she went shopping and she saw this beautiful cape. And this is a really beautiful, she told me the information, I don't have it with me, but anyway, it's not inexpensive. And it's perfect for that Hugo Boss cashmere I have. Anyway, she wanted to know what pattern. So I'm going to throw out to you pattern number 75, which is Phillips Cape, would be very close on with this. You could put the buttonholes in up the front. The only thing you'd need is a collar, because Phillips Cape doesn't have a collar on it, but you could close up the neckline and you could take a collar. You could either take it from 920 or 1825. Either one of those would work. I'm just going to throw out numbers. Zoanne's cape is 1825. 920 is Milano's jacket. Those are both basically kind of those type of collars. I'm going to call that a mandarin collar, but because it's wider, you don't think of it as a mandarin, but that's what it is. It's a mandarin collar. That is a full roll collar that's just got no roll to it. Okay? All right, so that's all I have. And if you guys have any questions on these questions, let's take them and we'll answer them. Okay? Appreciate this back support here. This is Saturday afternoon and my team is so supportive. What is the name you mentioned Tuesday of the belt designer? Susie Rohr. Susie, S-U-Z-I, Rohr, R-O-H-E-R. Peggy, I'm cutting pattern paper for class number 3300, probably pattern number 3300. Several of the pieces are labeled differently from the guide sheet. There are 2 number 6s on only one on guide sheet. Oh yeah, that's just because that's just the fly. And the fly, you just cut twice, but you only need one. Both the two fly front pieces, you've got a right fly and a left fly. And both of those, you only need one, but it's harder to cut it single layer than it is to just cut them at the same time. So we just cut them at the same time. And if that doesn't help, just email me privately and we'll put it into the next Q&As. But again, when there's only a cut one, unless it's like a big piece, those little tiny pieces, we just cut two and throw one away. It's just faster and easier. Okay? Are we good, really? That means y'all are as smart as I am. And we're good to go. We'll give it a few minutes just in case. Tuesday, we've got, well, how many days? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We have 4 days left for our Peggy giveaway. That means Peggy will come to you. 4 hours, you get to choose whether you want to eat lunch, shop, fit, sew. You can do whatever those choices are. 4 days left. You go to Fit to Stitch and sign up either for the online pants fitting class. You get 2 entries when you do that. Or you could just pay $49.99 and sign up for one. Sign up for one. Basic question that I'm overthinking. You already know you're overthinking. That's my warning. With a French dart, how do you drip or drape? How do you stop? It's D-R-I-P. I'm not sure what that word's supposed to be. How do you stop the bust point? Or where do you end the bust point, maybe? So what you want with the French dart, the good news about the French dart is it comes underneath the bust and it stops short of the bust point, within the bust circle. Anywhere within the bust circle, short of the bust point, it doesn't matter where it starts. So that, because that French dart has only a seam allowance on it, it does not have, you cut it out, just go to the tip. I always start from the tip, and you can go back. We have so many sewing videos where I've sewn that French dart. You'll get sick of watching them. But just go and start from the tip and sew to the dart and just be 3/8. By the time you get to be 3/8 is the end of the dart, you'll be in good shape. Oh, it was drop. Okay, so with a French dart, how do you drop the bust point? Oh, how do you drop it? Well, you can just stop stitching earlier. I mean, you could cut the pattern and separate it, but you just stop stitching earlier and don't cut it all the way to the end. If you want it lower by an inch, oh, you said that, need about an inch, sorry. Then just back up where you cut it out about an inch and start sewing 1 inch down lower. And that will be the easiest way to do it. That's what I love about a French dart, is you can just simply stop sewing earlier and it takes care of it. Number 6, there are pocket that says left, right. Guys, the whole reason is to send these ahead of time is so I don't go, like I don't know what you're talking about. Just send me the question, shoot me pictures, whatever you need, and we'll put it into the next Q&As and we'll solve it for you, okay? And that way too, I can diagram it out, I can make it intelligible going back to you. It's hard for me to just off the top of my head answer them, okay? But we definitely recognize there's problems out there, which is why we have Q&As, okay? And we appreciate your patience on those. It's okay.
She kind of like responded to herself. So this is everything. This is all of it.
The nurse. Yeah, just shoot me an email. Just shoot me an email. Let me know. You can do copy and paste all that or whatever is easier for you, and I'm happy to help you. And we'll get it straightened out. We'll make it simple. How's that? And we'll straighten it out for everybody else who's having the same problem. That's the good news. All right, you guys. So we're going to have, let's see, Tuesday night is our holiday dressing. Our holiday dressing is going to be Tuesday night. We're very excited. We have some beautiful fabrics for you. And literally one place for me picked out these fabrics. I want that one, that one. Anyway, they're beautiful. So we'll see you Tuesday night. And the goal is always, as you know it, happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns. Are we okay? Yeah. That's okay. We'll answer them. Because there is a delay. I appreciate that there's a little bit of a delay. Okay. The next Q&A is after the Raleigh, which is the pattern for I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Will you be getting more Armani jacket patterns? We will be, yes. Oh, I know. I think I know. 1516 is probably what you're asking about. So 1516 is Armani's unlined jacket. And we, guys, I still can't talk about this without crying. My pattern guy died. You know, my pattern guy died. So he was sick for a while and he passed away about 10 days ago. So I have not been willing to call his wife and say, hey, I need his files. So that pattern is in those files. So it will be a month probably before I'm willing to intrude upon her and ask her for that pattern. So if that's a pattern you're looking for and you're looking to do it fairly soon, it's not going to happen. We're not going to have it available, and I apologize. Which pattern is the top you were wearing? This is 622. It's Juliana's top. It's a fit to stitch pattern. So go to fit to stitch. I think we have it on silhouette patterns also, but it's 622. And this was the one we did on Tuesday, and I said I had doubled the ruffle. The fabric is still here, but it's in the store, so it's not available online yet. Okay, are we good with that? All right, now it's time for happy sewing. Okay, thanks for your patience, you all. We'll see you Tuesday night. All right, love you. Bye.